Alrighty, folks, welcome back to episode 66 of Live in 5, baby. Jay Swish, as always, with the captain. That is Gage Ausmus, sitting across from my chin right now, and a hell of a fucking old Ruski hat there. What do you got there? What kind of fur you got? You talk to your fur
bomber guy? Oh, yeah. Got the fur on there. I'm not sure what. This might be coyote.
Yeah, a little coyote ugly.
Yeah, maybe a little. I don't know what's in there. Rabbit. I don't know. What kind of fur do they usually use for these Jordo?
That's probably a tri blend. I would say a little bit of fox. I would say beaver. I would say probably rabbit, some sort of rodent. You know what I mean? Like usually, unless you're getting to the upper tiers of fur of chinchilla, mink, they keep it pretty stock, Ozzo.
Yeah.
Where'd you pick up that bad boy at? Is that a Shields purchase or where'd you get that?
This actually was a gift last winter for Christmas. So you don't get to wear these too often. It's never really too cold out, like cold enough to wear these, but I do think they're a good look in the right scenario.
Fella,
maybe if you're having cocktails outside, like a bar outside in the winter, this is the type of hat you wear.
Fella, speaking of fucking cold, holy shit right now. I don't know what it's like in the cities, but I'm up here in beautiful Grand Forks, North Dakota. Obviously, last night I went over to the Beaver Trap in Bemidji, and then before that I was in beautiful Bismarck, North Dakota, which we'll get into for Turkey Day. But Ozzo, it's like -4 without the windshield right now up here. It's fucking freezing, dude. Like, I've gotten obviously a little bit softer over the years being in Scottsdale, but fella, holy fuck, this ain't for the faint of heart up here. It ain't for the weak. Like you literally have to drink whiskey just to warm up. Like you need fireball shooters in your jacket at all times. Otherwise, you're going to freeze your dick off. Last night, walking into the Sanford Center in Bemidji, that wind hit my chin coming off the southwest part of the lake right across my face. And, I can handle it, but like, Jesus Christ, you forget how granite of a chin you have to be to like live up here year after year, man.
You do. It's different. Even, I was talking to our friend Matt Harder, Jordo, and he's from International Falls, it's actually a little more northern than Grand Forks. But even when you grow up in northern, like in International Falls, in those northern woods of Minnesota, the wind doesn't hit you as hard. It might be as cold, but there's also things to do around town too. Like you can hunt out of your backyard. You can go on snowmobile trails. You can go ice fishing. You can go cross country skiing. There's these things that you can do in Grand Forks when it gets cold, Jordo. The only thing you can do is go to the bar. Yes. It's the only thing you can do. Like maybe skate outside, when you're a kid and play on the ODR. But even then, with the wind, it's so cold. It's crazy. You got to be such a nail gun to be in Grand Forks this time of year.
Well, there's no lake. There's no snowmobile trails. It's flat as hell. Like you said, you might have the ODR, but you're not skating on the lake. You're going to University Park, again, with a Mickey, a Fireball, or Hot 100. And you're going to that lake, and you're crossing up some kid that plays, locally, wherever, it's for Red River, or they're playing just local hockey in Grand Forks. It was so funny. We went to the Pepper last night after the gauntlet of the day. Also, I got to break this day down for you, dude.
Yeah,
okay, so I fly into Bismarck. That's on Wednesday. Get in about 5-6 o'clock. We have the Schmaltz gathering of probably, I would say, 60 or 70 people at A&B Pizza, which is one of my dad and mom's favorite places to go, along with my grandpa. Because obviously the Schmaltz family runs deep in Bismarck. That's where my parents are from.
Yeah.
That's where my grandpa and grandma still live. So that's why we're fucking there. Okay, so we all fly in there. And my grandpa, for the people that I don't know, is from Haag, a.k.a. Haag, North Dakota. And that's where he grew up on the farm, Ozzo. 17 brothers and sisters, had 18, but they lost Dick when he was young. Young Richard died early. So 17 brothers and sister. Al, the oldest, Ozzo, is 97 years old. He drove from Linton, North Dakota to have pizza with us. Al's still driving. Al was driving a bus as of 2 years ago for the city of Linton. He was driving people around. This guy is 97 years old. So we had Al, we had Tom. Tom is one of his older brothers who is 87. Tom Ozzo was telling Korean War stories where they would jump out of a plane in Korea, North Korea, back in the day. And he said he did 90 jumps in 2 years. And every time he would jump, he said, he would shit his pants because he's like, fuck, this is when they're going to kill me. He said every time he got back to the base after they would jump, the colonel or the head guy there with the army would be like, Jesus, Schmaltz, these bastards just can't kill you. Because every time he would show up, they would lose like 40 or 50 guys. And he said he would feel the flesh in the heat of machine guns buzzing by his chin in the jungle in Korea. And I mean, how crazy is that, Ozzy? Like, people these days, they have problems. They're talking about they're depressed. They want to have a sex change. They're not getting enough attention. Meanwhile, these fucking nail guns were in the middle of a fucking jungle trying to find themselves. He said when they would jump out of that plane, there would be, 60 guys or whatever it was. And the nearest guy would be like 2 miles away. But you didn't have any radios really then, and you couldn't get it that far. So you'd have to almost have to find some of your teammates and then gather together and basically just try to survive and not get killed. So you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
It's just different too. And those guys get drafted or however they go, some of them sign up, and it's just a way of life, it's just something you got to do. It's your duty as a man growing up. And you mentioned it earlier, Jordo. It's like, how easy do we have it now? It's so funny what people complain about nowadays. I can't wear, I want to go in the men's bathroom and all this shit. It's like, how fucking privileged are we? Half the shit we're arguing about and that are big deals in our lives. It's like, brother, if you're complaining about that, you got it pretty good. Just shut up.
Right. You're complaining because you want to identify with a fox, and I'm not calling you a fox or a cat. And there might not be a litter box in the bathroom you're trying to go to because you think you're a cat. It's just, it's crazy what, people back then actually had to go through. And it was cool just hearing his stories, sitting there. And there was honestly probably, like I said, 60 or 70 Schmaltz crew.
I can't believe there's that many. You guys got, that's a full-on shindig.
Yeah, that was. I didn't know what I was walking into, Ozzo, either, because we were I got right up the bird.
Yeah, I gotta ask, Jordo. So you're going into. These people are, they're North Dakotans. They're not even Grand Forks. They're North Dakotans, Central North Dakotans. Now, are you able? Do you switch up your outfit there, your gear? Do you dress more? I'm just gonna wear some blue jeans and maybe just a normal shirt here. I'm not gonna try to style out in front of these people because that doesn't fly here. Or how is the the vibe around the Central North Dakotans?
Yeah, it's a stiff denim. You know what I mean? Those people are walking in with the Fleet Farm get up head to toe, right? They're wearing Carhartt, they're wearing Wrangler, they're wearing just stuff basically off the farm. Yeah, so I keep it pretty low and slow when I'm going into a spot like that. I always played, sometimes you got to be like your good buddy Keaton Thompson. You got to be a chameleon at some point, right? You can't come 100%. Off the top rope and now I'm wearing my Ricky Bobby fast car, fast shades, jacket. You know what I mean? I'm not wearing that or my baggy jeans or my just stuff where I can get away with. I'm not walking in with a Lamar Odom jersey.
No. I feel like you actually could possibly test out the Franklin glove though when you're drinking.
Yes.
At the bar, I feel like a lot of those people would respect the Franklin glove. Like, hey, buddy, I'm having a beer. But I like that. They like extra grip. They like things that actually make sense. And they need they wouldn't mind that extra grip on their beer per se.
No, they wouldn't. Absolutely, they wouldn't. And when you're sitting there, it's just so funny too because you're trying to explain who you are, who you're related to. Are they, are you the guy that plays hockey? I'm like, well, yeah, I used to. He's like, do you have a brother? And then they're asking my dad if he still plays hockey. It's like, holy fuck. This is Mike Schmaltz is 57. He keeps in good shape here, but he's not playing hockey. So it's just those shindigs are always funny. I've been to one other Schmaltz reunion before. They usually do it in Minneapolis. I think they're actually bringing it back to Bismarck, where a lot of the people are from, or locally, in and around the area of North Dakota. But dude, it's so funny going to those because, again, imagine 17 brothers and sisters, and then they all have kids, and they all each have 3 to 7 kids. Yeah, and then they have kids too, and then there's divorces, there's step kids, step brothers. So you go to these shindigs, and the one that I went to in Minneapolis was hosted at this person's house, actually in Shakopee, Minnesota. It was a beautiful home. I forget how they were related to the family, but there's, again, 200 people there. And you're like, that's a lot of fucking schmaltzes running around. You know what I mean? Because
how many people have feuds at these events? There's got to be some feuds going on. And, whenever you get that many siblings there, I feel like there are some families, and I feel like you and your siblings are pretty tight with each other. Yep. Same with mine. I don't have any, but I we talked to Troy Turner from Sasky. He was mentioning he's got a bunch of siblings, and most of them hate each other. They don't even do holidays together because they're like, fuck, we hate each other. They'll just be arguing the whole time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would say the one thing about all the Schmaltz guys that are brothers with my grandpa that are still alive, and it's probably where I get it from, is they're all smart asses. So everyone's just making the smart ass one-liners chirping each other that way. It's pretty funny. So even those guys that are older, like Al, who's 97, or Tom, that's, a little bit demented, but somehow will get off a one-liner. You're like, dude, like, you can't even really remember your name right now, but how did you come up with that line? So it was pretty cool, man. I mean, you're walking into the jungle there in terms of just like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But Thanksgiving was good. Blackout Wednesday, I did not participate. Ozzo, we had the bird at my grandma's and grandpa's. Mark Schmaltz in the house, Kelly, Kylie, my mom, my dad. Obviously, just missing Nick. He was in Utah. They played last night. They played the Oilers. I believe they lost. So yeah. How about you, dude? What was going on, Minnie? Did you partake in Blackout Wednesday? Like, talk me through your turkey day, fella.
Yeah, no, I actually, I wanted to bring this up too. I wanted to ask what time you think is the perfect time to have Thanksgiving meal. We had it at 1 p.m. today, which was it was a little early, but I actually enjoyed it. I didn't have to eat breakfast. I wasn't like hungry all day. I skipped lunch, so I was actually very hungry when we ate. And then, the rest of the day, you got some leftovers left. So it was actually kind of a nice time. So I wanted to ask your thoughts on that.
So you eat at 1, okay, and then your barrel is stuffed until about 4. So do you nap in between that lunch and then reload with the turkey sando at night? Talk me through that.
It was kind of and I'm accustomed to like the 6 p.m. dinner. Now I've talked to people and they're like, that's fucking way too late. You don't have time for leftovers later and stuff, but I felt like, the 6 p.m. start, Jordo, is you're not like when you start at 1 p.m., you're with everyone the whole damn day. It's like, is this too long?
It is.
It's like it gets a little long. It's like I want a little alone time here. When you start at 6, you get there at 5, and then you have till 5 that day to kind of do whatever you want. Now, when it starts at 1, you're locked up from noon until the rest of the day. So it's a little longer day. But I did we ate, we went home, watched some football just on the couch. Everyone's kind of silent. Take a nap if you want. Obviously, that Giants Cowboys game was on. Brutal, hilarious, perfect napping game. Yeah, so it was nice. I mean, that's what we did. But I wanted to ask that question because I just don't know what the correct time to eat it at is.
Yeah, and before I get into my rundown and my itinerary, what I think the ideal kind of maneuver is, are you boozing on Thanksgiving, Ozzo? Are you going into that a little bit hung so you can eat a bunch? Like, because if you're boozing and eating a lot, man, like that's a lot on your barrel, like especially if you're drinking beers.
Yeah, I think actually throughout the whole throughout the whole Thanksgiving day, Jordo, I probably had like 6 drinks. Wasn't too much. I was actually having Irish coffees. Threw it back. I forgot about those. Unbelievable in the winter. They're all time. But yeah, I had 6 drinks, and I actually didn't, to go back, rewind the clocks here, I didn't do anything for Blackout Wednesday. And that's another question, at what age do you grow out of that Blackout Wednesday? Is that supposed to be in all, your whole life kind of thing, where you participate? I wouldn't mind that. I didn't try to skip it. That's just the way it worked out.
Yeah, like I think for Blackout Wednesday, look, I think if you're right now the ages we are, I'm 31, you're going to be 30 years old on the other side of 2025. Now, I do think if you're going back into your hometown and hanging out with your high school buddies and going to that kind of shindig where it involves people you don't want to see, I think that's totally out of the play. That's out of left field. You're way too fucking old for that. It's not college. It's not that time where everyone goes back and it's like socially acceptable to kind of go back there and just see people you don't really want to see. But you're like, okay, like, yeah, I mean, maybe there's that one girl there. Or maybe I'll see that buddy that kind of fizzled out and he's a burnout, but he still smokes dope. And we can get maybe a joint outside this bar. And then maybe we go back in and have a shot. And that's okay. I think at this point, Ozzo, you know who your friends are, you know who your close buddies are, and you know who those guys from your hometown who you'd actually really like to see. Now, if you're going back to your hometown and you're like, hey, maybe we don't go to that spot that everyone's going to go to or people still go to that are a little bit younger than us, but we find another spot. So if you're in Grand Forks like you would be, maybe we go to the Bun and we all hang out and we get drunk. But if you're not back in your hometown, I don't know, unless you're like in a destination spot like Phoenix, or maybe California, like Are you really going out in the North Loop in Minneapolis as a 30-year-old, just kind of bobbing your head like, fuck, I might be able to get laid tonight. Like, I don't know. Like, I think like at 31, man,
you look a little weird. You might scare some people out there if you're at the actual go night spots. It's like, all right, buddy, your fucking time's passed. Let me fucking get in here.
Right.
22-year-olds,
like as much as I'd want to be there, and especially where I'm at in my life, of course I'd want to be there. But at the same time, it's like, Jay Swish, you can't check in off the couch at 31 and go to Cowboy Jack's. Like, that's not how it works. Even though you might want to go talk to a 23-year-old gal, I don't know if Blackout Wednesday is the night to do that. Also, I just think, like, you got to know your place in life, and you never want to be that guy, because we all see that guy at the club, the bar, or the setting they shouldn't be, and they got the silver in their hair, the salt and pepper. They're the silver fox at the bar. It's like, bro, what are you doing? You're 55 at Bottle Blonde. Now that's not comparable to what we're kind of talking about. No. But you never want to be that guy.
No, you don't.
That's aged out, right? You don't.
No, I think, I don't want to say like you're ever too old, because sometimes I see 60-year-olds in the bar and I'm like, fucking rights, boys.
Yes.
Like, let's go. I'm pumped about it. Even in Joe Black's. Now, maybe not at midnight on a Saturday, but yeah, there is a time and place there 100%. Now, it is weird to have the silver going in the hair and you're 40, 50 years old and you're bobbing around like, hey, you're talking to ladies. It's like, buddy, what are you doing? Like, you fucking get out of here. Find your fucking girls at coffee shops nowadays. The bar's out of play for you. I'm sorry.
Right. And if you want to go for a younger gal, no, nothing against that, right? But do it on your own time. Don't be the loser at the bar. That's how I kind of feel about Blackout Wednesday. Like, if I'm with my boys, if we're hanging out, and say it's, when guys are retired, if it's Rico or hanging out with Ledoux or, some of our good boys, and we're all at a bar, just at a dive bar hanging out, and there happens to be people there for Blackout Wednesday that are a little bit younger.
That's not our fault.
We're going to play darts. We're going to get on the pool table. We're going to kick you off the aux cord too. We're going to take over the touch tunes because we're going to buy you out. And then we're going to have a way better time and actually outdrink you too at the same time. So I think that is okay. But I don't think you can be the guy with just showing up with a buddy going to some of these bars and just start head bobbing.
What is the cutoff there? Like head bobbing at the bar, like probably 25. Like you're the vet there. You're like, you know what? I've been here. These are my last couple of years. I'm the big dog at the bar. I got some money. You guys are out of college. You don't have any money. I look cool because I just bought myself, a new Burberry wallet, and I'm wearing a nice, maybe a $400 jacket where you guys are wearing still you bought that at Banana Republic at the outlet center that was 50% off. I'm buying it full price because, I've got a big boy job and this is my last couple of years here to do this. So you respect me, and I'll actually buy you a drink because I'm a fucking beauty too.
Yeah, I'm going to buy you a $6 drink because you're rocking a Columbia jacket and I actually have a Canada Goose on. So suck on me sideways. Yeah, I would say, Ozzo, probably the cutoff for me, if I'm just looking at it from an outside in now, and now we're not washed up, but I would say probably 25, 26. You could get away with 27 maybe. And then you got to venture out to places where it's dive bar-y, it's a restaurant bar. Maybe you even go have,
upscale.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how much, my favorite thing to do now would be, if I'm going to do Blackout Wednesday the right way, let's go get a steak dinner with my buddies and let's see where that night goes. Let's get on the whiskey. Let's get on the grapes. Let's have a steak. Let's act like proper men. We still haven't gotten there for the golf trip. I tell Rico every year, is this the year we're going to do a dinner? He's like, oh, fucking dinner. It's going to cost $200 a guy. Oh, but we'll spend $8,000 on a bottle. Yeah, that makes sense. Perfect.
None of us are drinking it anyways.
What do you mean, dude? What at what point are we going to finally sit down and do a meal, and actually hang out with each other? Or we could just go to the club on volume 100 and sit there around a bottle service girl with a light show and sparklers and just.
It is kind of nice looking at you guys. Just no talk.
So that kind of just is like the same thing. It's like, I would rather just do the nice meal now, hang out with your buddies, and be able to chop it up with a lot of guys you probably don't get to see more than 2-3 times a year, because that's kind of where people are at in lives with kids and different things. But also that leads me to my next thing. Okay, so we talk about Blackout Wednesday. I wanted to get your thoughts on Friendsgiving, because politely, I think Friendsgiving is so gay. Now, nothing against gay people. I like gay people. I know gay dudes. I know gay women.
We're throwing it back. We're throwing it back to 6th grade when you used to say, "Oh, that's gay." It just means that you don't like that or whatever. It's not actually doesn't mean the homophobe thing.
Right, exactly. But I just think Friendsgiving, okay? Say you and Gabby got invited to a Friendsgiving. What are you saying? Like, is it a yes? Is it a no? She really wants to go. You don't want to piss her off. Are you going? Are you laying the hammer on? Like, look, Gabby, like, I love you, but I don't want to go hang out with that girl's boyfriend. He's a loser. And then his friend's a loser. Like, what are your thoughts on Friendsgiving? And I don't want another turkey before we have a turkey of our own because turkey's not even that fucking good. And I don't want to make a side and have their shitty sides. Like, what do you talk to me on Friendsgiving? Because I think it's just so,
Yeah, it is. It's definitely, I think it depends on, I guess, where you live and what part of life you're in. But for me, it's I'm finding any excuse I can. You know, if Gabby wants to do this Friendsgiving thing, now she did it with her friends. Girls doing it, go ahead. If I'm hanging out with my boys, I'm definitely not calling it Friendsgiving. Now it's like a couple thing to do. And if Gabby comes up to me with this idea, here's what I'm doing. I'm saying, oh, you know, I actually have to work, or fuck, I made plans already. I'm coming up with every excuse in the book, and I'm getting away with it. And I'm not showing up to that Friendsgiving because I already have a Thanksgiving with, you know, family and stuff, and that's enough. I don't need another one, you know, with all these obligations where you're just, you know, it's this conversation that just isn't great. And then, you know, it's a lot of fakeness between couples, the couples things, the events, unless it's like with a couple that, you know, your girl's best friends with, and the guy is like one of your close boys, and it's like, all right, whatever. It's not even friends. You guys can call it Friendsgiving. We're just going to call it a hangout. The guys here, we're going to call it a hangout, and that's all we're doing. We might get some food, we might have some drinks, but we're not referring to it as Friendsgiving. Just as if I go on a vacation with my wife who happens to be pregnant, I'm not going to call it a baby moon. It's just going to be a vacation. You know, it's the same type of thing.
My wife's pregnant and we're on vacation. Now, this is not an orchestrated baby moon, but back to Friendsgiving, same thing, dude. Like, I just think, oh my God, I see all these couples, I see all these snaps. It's like, there's no way the dude wants to be there and has to have his wife tell him, yes, you got to make the 7-layer dip. Oh, you have to actually make the special K bars. Can you make that shitty Jello side? Did you prep the cranberry sauce? Oh my God, do we make the gravy or the stuffing? Or who's going to make the bird? Are we going to deep fry it? Or are we going to put it in the oven? Whoa, what do you think we should?
Oh my God, we never picked up the board game. We got to go get a board game. Right. Like, no, I don't want to play a board game. Are you kidding me?
Like, what kind of box? Are we going to get the box wine? Or are we going to get the Joel Gott? Or what are we going to get? Are we actually going to get maybe the butter, the bread and butter? That was like a $17 bottle. Oh, do we want to splurge and maybe bring a bottle of Camus? But then we're going to be too drunk for that. It's like, oh my God, dude. We did one Friendsgiving. And actually, I mean, I guess it was technically like an import Friendsgiving in Finland when I was there, Azo. And I was, you know, listen, you got the import crew, you kind of your ride or dies there. You have to make what it is because they're really theoretically the only people that speak English. And look, I had a good buddy on the team, Alex Broadhurst, who was still playing in the KHL. We played together in Green Bay and all the way growing up with the Chicago Mission. Now, but the other people there, right? Like, it's like, why are we forcing this? And now I get way too drunk on the whiskey. I don't even want to be here. I guess it's okay. But if I'm doing this stateside, brother, I'm like, oh my God, uncle, just get me out of here. Like, I'm just like, I've had enough. I don't want to hang out with these people. You're there way too long. You're just sitting at the table. And the worst thing, and look, I'm not an asshole, maybe a little bit, but dude, I got like no time for guys that I don't want to hang out with. And I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm hanging out with my gal and she's bringing me to hang out with her best friend and the boyfriend, and that boyfriend's just a turd. Like, look, I don't need any more friends. I don't need to like have this guy, like, you know, justify that, you know, he likes me now and, you know, I'm playing up to a level of his or the way back. If it's me and you just hanging out and our buddies and the gals, sure. But like, also, it's just those situations, man, when you get forced into just hanging out with a dude that you have nothing in common with, there is nothing worse, man. You're just tough. Oh my God. Like,
it's tough.
Like, just shoot me.
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, I force Gabby into that situation a lot more than she forces me just because she's better at that situation than I am. But yeah, it's tough. You don't want to, like you said, we already have enough friends. It's like, well, let's not fake this, buddy. Like, we're not hanging out after you know, there's no way I'm ever hanging out with you. I'm not texting you like, hey, should we get a beer? Like, no, that's not happening. So let's just let bygones be bygones here, and let's just do our own shit. Like, if the girls are talking, I'm just gonna go on my phone and look at Instagram and text my group chats and my buddies, and we're just gonna do that.
Like, I'm never calling you to golf, and I don't think I'm not expecting you to call me either. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No.
you should have that level of self-awareness where this is never going to be a thing. Look, I'm 31. I don't need any more friends unless you're all time. I'm probably just going to, we can politely go our separate ways.
Oh, yeah. And usually the guy's cool with it too. Like, he's like, I don't want to be friends with you either. You know, I got my friends too in that situation. So that is nice. That's a nice thing about dudes. Dudes usually get that, you know. When you switch the script and you have the girls doing that side, Jordo, they always act like they love each other.
Oh, it's the fakest shit
ever. You go
home
and they both talk like, that girl's like worst, you know, I hate her. And they were just acting like they loved each other in front of each other. Guys won't do that. We just won't talk. Like, it's okay. Like, we don't need to act like we like each other if we don't. It is what it is. But girls can't do that. They have to feel like, oh, I have to be nice when I'm with her because, like, that's just what I have to do. And it's like, hey, you actually don't have to do that.
That's so funny, man, because I remember I was talking to a chick and she was telling me how much she hated this girl in her friend group, but I would always see Instagram stories with them together. They'd be on a boat, they'd be hanging out, but she's meanwhile just carving her behind their back, like unsolicitedly. Like, I'm not even bringing it up, and she's just carving this girl. And then about 2 weeks later, it's that girl's birthday that she was carving. And she posts an Instagram saying, "Happy birthday, so-and-so." I go, what is going on? You were chirping this girl literally 10 minutes ago, maybe an hour before this, the previous day.
Yeah.
You're giving her a birthday shout out? So I called her out. I go, you just gave that chick that you hate a birthday shout out. You know what she says? She goes, yeah, but I posted that because I look good. I go, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, you kind of do. Like, what are you doing later?
Good point.
Yeah. But like, how fake is that?
Diabolical. Diabolical. Now you can go into like, this is the thing with Canadians, you know, how people think Canadians and Minnesotans are so nice. It's the same way girls act. You know, it's passive aggressive. I can tell you don't like me, but you're acting like you do. Right. Is that to me is being worse than if you were just to be straight up and be like, hey, I don't like you. Like, it is what it is, and I'm going to act like it. That is more respectful to me than actually just faking it. But to some people, like I know Gabby, she'd probably rather have someone be nice to her than tell her the truth and be like, I don't like you. You know, like, I think girls would rather have the fakeness, where I'd just rather have it straight out there. Like, some of these East Coast people will tell you how it is straight up. When you go up to Canada, they tell you that they love you and they're going behind your back that this guy's a fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah.
It's more respectful to just be straight up.
Yeah. I mean, something to be said about too, we always say it, especially on our golf trip where we're kind of, you know, sitting in the locker room back in the day. Like, there's nothing better than actually chirping a guy that's not in the room. You're just laying in.
Oh, it's the best.
That he walks in. That's kind of how, you know, a lot of ladies get after it. But the crazy thing is, I was like, they actually act like they're friends though. Where, you know, me, I would just be like, fuck that. That guy's a nerd biscuit. That guy's a squid. I'm not even gonna talk to him. I'm just gonna kind of sit off in the corner. And again, if he comes up and says, what's up? I mean, listen. I got nothing.
Or even if he's your good friend, you probably roast him even more. You got more shit to roast him about, and you don't care if you say it or if he hears you saying it, because you know at the end of the day, you're still going to be friends with them. Now, if ladies speak their minds around each other, none of them be friends with each other. Like, I could call Chiz fat to his face if I wanted, or Dusky, I could call him ugly, and he wouldn't give a shit. We'd still be friends tomorrow. Right. Ladies wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, they would take that to heart. So yeah, that is funny though. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's hilarious. But yeah, I wanted to get into something else with you, Ozzo, and I wanted to get into just like corporate America right now, from Thanksgiving to, I would say, the New Year. And I think probably COVID kind of established this rule is nobody actually works. Now, it's probably different in the moving community because you have to get stuff done, and that's technically not corporate America. But if you're just sitting at your 9 to 5 in a cubicle, right now, most companies, even if you are in office, they say go remote. And the companies that are always remote, what are you even really doing? You can work from everywhere. Now, that is the luxury of technology, and I do agree with it. But Ozzo, I would say from right now, like I would say from the Tuesday before Thanksgiving to January 5th, nobody actually works. It's like you're in college again. And I think that was established from COVID, and people realized like, oh my God, like we actually just have to go on a 6-week bender right now because that's the only thing that makes sense to do. We're in the holiday spirit.
Yeah. Everyone's in the holiday spirit right now. It's like, I mean, you see it a little bit in the moving industry, and just when you're in service, like, you know, when it's before this month, before Thanksgiving happens, and after the new year, people start, doing things around the house. They need services done. They're getting work done on their house or whatever they're doing. But in this time, in this holiday time, they all just cash out. I mean, that's kind of the joke when you're an actual blue collar worker and you're in the service industry where you actually work your hours when you're at work. Now, there's a lot of these desk jobs right now, like you said. You're not doing shit. I mean, even if you are going to the office, you're sitting on your desk, you got your feet up, you're relaxing, you're probably scrolling shit, like just sending emails like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm a little sick right now. I got the bug. It's Christmas time. It's that time of year. Sorry. You're always sick. You're kind of sick, but you're not actually sick. But you're playing like you're sick because it's that time of year, and you can use it as an excuse to not do a ton of work in the office. And no one wants you in the office if you got a little scratch in your throat, because then you're gonna everyone else sick. So then you can't go into work, and then you sit at home and just do nothing. Like it's a holiday time. It'd be an awesome time to be in the cubicle. This is the time you kind of live for, because the rest of the year, I mean, it sucks. Like, you don't want to be sitting in a cubicle, Jordo. And those people, they might think the service industry is hard, but these guys who work for us at Mini Movers and they're doing actual hard work, they would rather fucking dig ditches than sit in the cubicle, So there's just different types of people for every job.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. But Ozzo, there's nothing better at this time of year, and especially as a guy that works with, apparel companies in the industry of clothing and goods and services, the automated message on the email. Hey, it's so-and-so. I'm not going to be back in the office, actually till December 9th. Okay, and then I hit them up December 9th. Oh, hey, sorry, I'm not actually in the office until, they'll respond 4 days later. They'll be, oh, God, sorry, I'm actually not in the office till the other side of 2025. If you have any other questions, you can refer to my assistant to the regional manager, Jesse, who will take your call. You call Jesse. Jesse purposely doesn't answer his phone. 4 days go by. Now it's the weekend. Then it's Monday. He's a little hung. And then Tuesday, bam, Jesse, you know what? It's December the 18th, and he's not around either. So I feel like right now, the world just goes on hold. It's Black Friday. Everybody's shopping. Everyone has just cashed it in for the year. They've made their quota. They've grinded to this point, and now I'm going to kick the feet up and just rake and reap the benefits of corporate America and just try not to get fired. Do enough. Do as little as possible just to get through the 2025, and then I will pick it up with a couple New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, yes, of course. I'm definitely going to work harder next year. As soon as January 1 hits, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to eat healthy. Oh, I love that.
I'm not going to watch porn. That's the best one. I'm not going to watch porn. I'm going to the gym for the membership. This guy, meanwhile, goes to the gym for 2 weeks, and then he's back tugging 10 days later on his Brazzers account. It's like, dude, all right, man. Like, porn's not great for you, but like, how many vices do you need? Like, just come on.
Yeah. It's the Canary. It's like the Chucky Slick Canary Islands living right now between Thanksgiving and the New Year. It's hilarious.
It is all.
Oh, Jordo, I wanted to ask you. Sorry, I just thought about this. So you're in this industry, the apparel industry. It's obviously a busy time of the year because everyone's trying to get gifts for everyone, and stuff. So last week, I go into our guy who does like our embroidery.
Yep.
And I want to make these hats I'm going on this trip with some friends and Gabby on December 27th. And I want to make a hat that we can all wear on this trip. We're going on a boat. This hat's got the boat on the front of it, and it's got an American flag on the back. Yep. Now, I brought in 16 white hats to this guy, and I'm like, hey, can you mock this up? I walked in there last week.
Yep.
I walked in there, I think on like Thursday last week, and I said, hey, I need these hats made. Whatever you can do to get them done. I know you're busy right now. Whatever you can do to get them done, please get them done. And he's like, all right, I'll see what I can do. What are my odds of these hats actually getting done? Like, how swamped is this guy right now?
What did he give you for a timetable?
Well, I told him I need them done by, obviously before Christmas because I'm leaving the 27th. So he's like, okay, you need them done before Christmas. I'll see what I can do. So that's
you brought in the hats, though, right?
I brought in
so
white hats.
That alone, Ozzo, should knock off 2 weeks because obviously these guys are middlemen too. Like they're not just making these hats themselves. So they'll have to outsource to Imperial. They'll have to outsource to Otto, wherever they would have to get your hat. So if you brought in that hat and you said, hey, all I need is an embroidery job, that should be no more than 2 weeks or 3 weeks would be a long. He should fucking be able to knock those out. 16 hats in one day, man. Really? You know what I mean? I know you're not just going to budge to the top of the order, but 2 weeks, I would say.
How much should I get on him? Like, should I like, how often should I email him? Like, hey, where we at?
I would say, when you go to him last Thursday?
Yeah,
I would say once a week. Just say, hey, are these done? You know what I mean? I'm going to have some time to pick these up in this window. I would like to get them by the 15th. I would just stay on them, right? Like, don't be annoying about it, but, as a businessman, like when you want something done,
you got to get on them. I feel like you got to be that kind of prick. And I know I brought them in late. I know it's busy for you, but, I do a lot of business with you guys, and I kind of want these hats done. So I'm going to be a little annoying.
I mean, I'm dealing with that still with my fucking clothing that I put a bunch of money into, and I cannot wait to fucking bury this guy when the time comes. I'm going to hold in. I'm going to rein in my real thoughts. But at some point, Ozza, I'm going to go public with how this negotiation and this shit show has gone on. I shoot at this guy 5 times a day for the last 14 months. Now, is that a little bit annoying? Yeah, but I have a lot of money invested into it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I need this done, buddy. Like, I'm pretty much close to showing up to your house, or, maybe hiring those guys that fought Biz, and, who knows? But no, I wouldn't go that far. But it's just, you got to stay on these guys. And, did you pay up front, or are you going to pay on the back end? That's another thing. Like, if I paid up front, okay, now I expect it to be done at this point.
I mean, I didn't pay up front. We have a running tab with them. So it's like, we always pay our debts. So it's not like he's worried about that. Right. Now, do you think I should pay up front? Should I go in there and be like, hey, I'm paying for it? Never
pay up front. No.
Okay.
No, because then they won't work as hard. They'll be like, I learned that the hard way. I learned that right now with my stuff. So always a hungry dog runs faster. So I would never pay up front. But you should have that though. Like, 2-3 weeks, especially if you've done business with the guy before, assuming he's a decent guy. You gave him a timeline. Like, hey, fella.
They do a good job. They always help. Yeah. So I'm hoping they get them done.
Yeah, they should get that done. But speaking of a decent dude, Ozzo, now I wanted to ask you, okay, we were talking a little bit about the Turkey Day Bowl in terms of there's 3 games. Obviously, the Giants, the New York Football Giants, the Cowboys. We had that first game, and then we had the Packers and Miami. Now, that Packer-Miami game I wanted to get into. Is the Mike McDaniel shtick, is it running a little thin there in Miami, or does he ultimately just not have the roster to really get things done there? Obviously, Tua going with that, through a lot of different things that we know, and just the overall makeup of that team. But man, they got absolutely whacked. I didn't think they're going to stand a chance, especially going into the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field on Thanksgiving, playing a night game, aka a night fight. But I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit of like, okay, I think Mike McDaniel, right, his shtick from where he's come to now, like he's literally went full Miami with it. His look, he's trying to be this cool guy, nerd, somewhere in between a Harvard professor and a guy you would see at 11 nightclub eating wings and getting a dance from a stripper. Now, Mike McDaniel, I think you either love him or you hate him. Where do you lie on that side of the spectrum with McDaniel?
Yeah, I think I actually like McDaniel. He's, he acts like himself. He never changes. I actually respect that out of a guy like himself, who's a little bit different than your average head coach in the NFL. Do I think he's an elite head coach? No. Do I think he's should be fired and the worst head coach in the league? Absolutely not. I think he's right in the middle, and I think that's always where he's ever going to land. I don't think he's ever going to be one of those great coaches, just because I think the shtick he plays, like the guy who doesn't really care about anything other than drawing up a cool play on offense and having swagger and this stuff, it only goes so far, I think. And you know what, Jordo? I was also thinking just the Miami Dolphins record when it's below 7, when they play a game below 70 degrees, they are like 7 and like 40. And when they play a game below 40 degrees, they're like 0 and 20. It's like they're terrible in the cold. Now, I know you can say, oh, it's in Miami, they're always practicing outside, it's warm, but I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and those guys can win a game in the cold. Those guys came up to Green Bay and won a playoff game against Aaron Rodgers. Like, now I'm starting to think, why is it? Okay, why do the Dolphins not play well in the cold? And the only thing I can land on, Jordo, is their color scheme. Their color scheme just doesn't work good in the cold. Now the Bucs have a color scheme that's it looks hard in the cold. It's like, okay, these guys are scary. The Bucs logo is scary. Now the Dolphins come to town and it's snowing, and it's like, we're gonna stop these guys. Look at their fucking uniforms.
Yep.
Fucking light orange, light blue, and white. Like, we're gonna pound these guys. That's the softest color scheme alive in the cold when you're playing football. It has to be the colors in the uniforms. I can't come up with anything else.
Yeah, 100%. And, the 305, Miami. I mean, you should need a passport to even go to Miami in the first place.
Yeah.
The amount of BBLs down there, Colombian women, South American, Cuban. It's just a different country in itself down there. And when you say that, I just think South Beach, palm trees. Now, Tampa Bay is still in Florida, still has palm trees, but the bouginess of Miami going up there, Mike McDaniel.
You think the players just get too comfortable?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, we're making millions. Like, I'm in Miami, Tampa Bay's a little harder. So you still, got that hardness in you that you need to play football.
100%. I mean, Tampa Bay don't have the white sand beaches like Miami does. It doesn't have Brickell, the downtown night life. You're out till 7 a.m. Most clubs in Miami, it's 24/7. And you're a single guy running around Miami, like, dude, I mean, like, you got your pick of the litter of any ethnicity you'd ever want. There's a lot of Russians down there. There's a lot of European, not to mention the South American influx. And then, you got the Hispanic. So it's just like that place down there. I just think you get accustomed to so much going around you. And then you're like, fuck, I'm going into Green Bay, Wisconsin on a Thursday, man, during Thanksgiving. I'm away from my family. Like, oh my God, what are we eating? Panera bread before the game? Like, it's just like, what are we doing? It's cold. We've been at the hotel all day. We're staying at the Kohler Lodge. They say it's a 4 diamond, but it's really 3.5. And we're eating some shitty pasta. Like, the fact that Green Bay, Ozzo, even has a team in this day and age is so nails. Like, it's insane.
Nuts.
It's insane.
It doesn't make sense. Can you make sense of it? And they're always packed full every game. Their fans are probably, you could argue, they're the best NFL fans in the league. It's insane. It's nuts that you could pull off a team there.
Also, the whole stadium stands the whole game. If you want to sit down, you'll miss the whole thing. My parents and my sister were just at the game versus San Francisco the week before. And they're like, yeah, it was great. We had 50-yard line tickets. Shout out to Kelly Schmaltz who got them the tickets. But, dude, you can't enjoy the game. You got to stand the whole time. Like, it's just like
you're into it.
And they're all drunk as fuck. Like, I'm telling you, there's North Dakota drunk, there's Wisconsin drunk, and then there's Green Bay, Wisconsin drunk. And there's nothing that compares to it during a Lambeau Sunday. There really isn't, man. Like, there's 88,000 people in there, whatever it is, 85. And I would say, no shit, 78,000 are drunk, and the other ones are actually sober because they had to go to rehab, and everyone in between that drives out of there. Like, nobody Ubers, nobody hires a driver. Everybody drives out of there. And
is everyone going home after? Like, there can't be that many hotels in Green Bay for all these people to stay at. So they got to be driving hours home after the game.
For sure. And a lot of people that come in out of state, Ozzo, they'll drive back down to Milwaukee. They'll spend the night there, and they'll fly to General Mitchell in the morning. And the people that are lucky enough to get hotels at Kohler Lodge or the Best Western, and that hotel's a fucking dump, the Best Western. That's where the USHL teams used to stay. It's right by the Resch Center. Dude, you're paying $600-700 a night for that hotel. And then there's people, remember Max McCormick, who's from Green Bay, who still plays nail gun. I play with him in Sioux City. He's still playing in Coachella Valley. He's a good player, played 100-odd NHL games. He's played a little bit with Seattle in the last few years. He owns like a couple Airbnbs right by Lambeau Field, and he just rents those out during the year, and it's only open during Packer Sundays, I think, and or the weekends, and they just rakes it in because a lot of people will come into town for like 5 days and just get drunk as fuck and stay at those houses. And then that way, you know what I mean? Like you pay whatever, $500 a night for it. You overpay for it, but then you have a place to stay. You don't have to park anywhere, and more important, you don't have to drive, dude. So that is a really good little business model there.
I'd love to see how much food and like beer from Anheuser, like they gotta have Anheuser trucks just shipping up there on Sundays for these Green Bay Packers games because they don't have enough beer and food in this town on a normal day to supply all these people coming in for a Green Bay game. I mean, there's like 100,000 people coming in.
Yeah. I mean, the town's only 100,000, and then there's at least that many people coming into town for the games because you got to factor the people not even going to the match, like just coming to get drunk at Indoozies or, a local bar there, like, stadium bar, like some of these places that are just filled to the fucking brim of drunk people from Shawano, Wisconsin, just absolutely polluted. Yeah. So, and the crazy thing, Ozzo, is I forgot this, but back in the day, like in the 80s or 90s, they used to play half their home games at Lambeau and then half at Milwaukee Stadium where the Brewers played because they just simply the infrastructure of the town couldn't hold it. So they used to play half their games in Milwaukee just because there'd be so many fucking drunks and they, couldn't really manage it in the town. But then they obviously figured it out and were able to make it work. But yeah, I forgot that stat and that little nugget there. But yeah. Hey, how about the Bears, dude? This Eberflus, this guy kind of seemed like a douchebag to me. I mean, I don't know him, but he packed his shit. And, I mean, even
I'm actually sad to leave him go as a Vikings fan. I thought he was great for the Bears.
Same. I thought, let's keep this guy around. But now, as Rodgers would always say, like, we're never worried about Chicago because they haven't been relevant since the Dick era. But like, man, who does that team? Now, we're not football experts over here, a couple hockey guys, but who does that team even remotely go after? They should go after Gruden is who they should go get.
Yeah.
Or Belichick.
Gruden or Belichick or I don't know. I know they're going to go after probably Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Lions. Maybe Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Vikings. But, yeah, as a coach, I don't even want to go into that. It seems like the franchise and the ownership just has the problem because, like, every coach that goes in there just fails. Now, this Eberflus guy, he bothered me, Jordo, because he basically lost. They're on a 6-game losing streak right now. He basically lost them 4 of the games. So just dumb decisions, just not coaching the team, basically. And after every loss, which was his fault as the head coach. Now, maybe it isn't your fault. It was some other guy's job on the team to watch the clock or make the timeout or do whatever. And you didn't do it. But you're the head coach. You're responsible for everything that happens. So I just don't understand his play, Jordo, in the media where he'd be like, "No, yeah, I thought we made the right call. Just didn't work out." It's like, no, you didn't make the right call. You made the wrong call, and everyone saw it and knows it. Just own up to it and say, "Yeah, I'm sorry." Like Dan Campbell says it sometimes. He's like, "Hey, I made the wrong call." Like it happens. Like this guy never made the wrong call, but you just lost 6 games. You made the wrong call 4 out of the 6 games, or else you would have won those games. So fucking take responsibility at least once. It's like, now I hate you. I don't even know you, like you said, but now I hate you because you won't take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah, it just seemed like just a guy you wouldn't want to run through a wall for it. You can kind of sense that when you get these little clips or these little nuggets of how a coach reacts or responds. And it just didn't seem like his players would have his back. And honestly, he didn't have his players back. So I actually think that Caleb Williams is actually pretty good. Now, I went on a little bit of a rant earlier in the year and talked about his fingernail painting. He's going to have his jersey retired at the University of Southern Cal. But he's actually pretty good. And the way he was dicing up that Detroit defense late in the game kind of showed me he had more stones than I would have figured. You know what I mean? Like he's the last few weeks, man, he's come on a little bit. I kind of like his game, Ozzo. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I saw some stats. I mean, he has a pretty good chance at going down as like just even this season as having the best season for a Bears quarterback ever in terms of like yards and touchdowns. And he's a rookie. So I do think he's something to worry about. As, 2 guys who cheer for other teams in the NFC North, I don't love seeing him do well. I just hope they hire another dumbass coach like they always do. Yeah. It's like, who even is Matt Eberflus? Where did he come from? Why'd you hire him in the first place? And, I mean, it's so funny. I remember Ryan Poles, their GM, when they signed Ryan Poles, he got the job, and then he signed Matt Eberflus as the head coach. He goes, "We're going to take the North and never give it back." And I think since then they're about like 4-20 in the NFC North. It's like I laughed out loud when he said that. You're the Bears. Are you forgetting that? You guys fucking suck.
Stay hot, fella. Dude, they need a new stadium, too. They just need a whole new overhaul because there's no way a team in Chicago should be that bad. Like, it doesn't make any sense how good that city is in that downtown. But, dude, Soldier Field is fucking brutal. Like, it's not perfect.
I've heard it's a dump.
Like, it's a real big dump, and it's in a nasty area right by Navy Pier, right on the lake. But, dude, that stadium is just – it's dumpy, and there's, like, no real character in it because they've never won anything in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't have any banners to hang up. It's like, I know you got I think they have one Super Bowl, maybe two.
Yeah, maybe one with Ditka. But, dude, they went to – what was the last time they were decent? Like, they went to the Super Bowl.
Jim McMahon.
Yeah, but they went to the Super Bowl one year with Kyle Orton as their quarterback. And remember, Devin Hester actually took one to the house.
Yeah.
Remember how good
that guy was electric, dude.
Remember how good Devin Hester was? I mean, put some respect on that guy. He was like a fifth receiver who had, no hands. Like, he legit had no hands, but he
could move.
My God, was he good on that punt return, that kick return? He's a Hall of Famer based on that. That's how sick he was. Like,
teams used to kick it away from him. They used to squib kick it just because he was standing back there.
He was one of my favorites, even just as a Bear. Like, I love just athletes back there. His 40 time was like 4.17, 4.2, somewhere in there. Like, he was unbelievable how electric he was.
I still watch his highlights on YouTube from time to time. They're on all the time.
Yeah, get stoned and watch Devin Hester highlights.
They're the best.
They're the best. Hey, I wanted to go over to Nail Gun of the Week. I don't know if you had one, Ozzo, but I had one, and that was the Grand Valley State football team pulling up to their game today. It was a D2 playoff game, cold as hell, and they were all tits out. They went to the game, and they showed up like this. Look at these guys walking into the stadium. I don't know if people are watching on YouTube, but a couple linemen with their tits out. They showed up, backpacks on, gloves on. They had their toques on, shades, but no tarps on the big boys, no tarps on the skill guys. So I just thought that was nails. Anytime you can roll up, shirt off, tarp optional when it's cold as fuck out. Grand Valley State, right in the chin of Grand Rapids, Michigan, baby. I love it. So just wanted to give those guys a couple clicks from the underground as a storied D2 program.
That's an unreal call, Jodo. And I always find it so funny that, like, linemen in football and, like, these big boys, they think it's so nails to not wear, like, long sleeves when it's freezing out. It's like, oh, you're cold? Wearing a jacket?
Pussy.
Got a fucking t-shirt on, pussy. Like, what are you, cold? You shivering? You're shivering?
It's the best.
Pussy. Yeah, it's like,
it's the best.
What do you want me to say? It's fucking 5 degrees out, buddy. Yeah, I got a sweatshirt on. Like, fuck you.
You're cold too, bud. Yeah, I know you're cold.
Yeah, I know you're cold. You're just acting like you aren't.
Yeah.
Right? My nail gun, Jordo, is going to be Ryan Lomberg.
Yes. Good pick, Lomberg.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw. I knew this guy. I played against this guy so many times, probably like 30 times in Muskegon in the USHL.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to always just shred us. Like, I think he had like 5 hat tricks against us, like 7 games with 2 goals. But anyways, he's always been kind of a tough hockey player, and I liked his game for the Panthers last year, especially winning the Cup. And then he goes to Calgary this year. And I just love what he's done in that locker room right now. I just see, like, clips of him in that locker room. They obviously all love him. And he goes on and fights Matthew. How do you say it? Matthew Olivier. Matthew Olivier. I mean, he's one of the biggest heavies in the league. Like,
yes, he is.
To drop the gloves with this guy, you got to be a fucking psycho. And Ryan Lomberg isn't that big of a dude. He's jacked. Yeah, he's tough. But to drop the gloves with this Olivier guy, I mean, you got to be a psycho. And he held his own. Did you see the fight? I mean, he chucked the knucks. Like, he ate, like, I don't know how many punches he ate, but
quite a few.
Absolute nail gun shit, man. He stood in there. He fell over like 3 times, got back up. One of the cooler fights I've seen in a while from a guy his size fighting that guy. It's incredible.
Yeah, and that, Ozzo, they were losing at the time, and there was 2 seconds left in the third period. But he didn't like how Olivier went after Martin Prospel. So he said, if you want to chew off a younger piece of our team, and Prospel's a decently tough player out of Slovakia in his own right. But he said, you know what, you're going to have to answer to me. And that is the spirit of a warrior. That's a spirit of a lion. And I saw an article on Lomberg earlier in the week, and it said this guy, after he won the Stanley Cup and signed in Calgary, also, he was working out 4 times a week. And I believe it, Because look how jacked that guy is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look how jacked that guy is. He for sure was.
There's a reason he's doing all these interviews without a shirt on. I would be too. I mean, that's what you do it for.
Right.
Yeah, he's fucking jacked.
Yeah, and he's always been a criminal dating back to his Muskegon days. I remember him flying around the L.C. Walker Arena in Muskegon, where there's a lot of times you could catch a possum in a locker room. It wasn't a pet, but it was a possum. And he would be buzzing around that rink, like just a full-on fucking maniac. He's carried that into the pro ranks. Obviously, it took him a little time to kind of figure out what type of player he'd be in the American Hockey League and then come into the NHL. But he was one of those guys, also, you knew he had that level of psycho-ness to play in the game and play at a high level. And the biggest thing with the Lamborghini is he can fucking fly up and down the sheet. And that was a big thing as a hunter, as an F1. Like, didn't you look at that guy? And I was always like, fuck, that guy's going to play in the league somehow because he's so scary out here. He's so unpredictable.
Yeah. Not only, like, obviously in the USHL, he was one of the more skilled players in the league and he was scoring goals against us. But not only that, it was like he could play just as hard as anyone on the ice. And if you don't play hockey, like when you watch it, you're like, oh, like this guy's a pussy. And then like, oh, he like shied away from a check. Like you don't realize you got to be a nail gun to stand in there sometimes and take these hits and like do so, stand in there sometimes. And he does it. Like he puts his face in there and he's never been afraid on the ice. And that is something that, you almost can't teach, like there's a lot of hockey players, even myself, like if I would have been more nail gun, I think I would have been a lot better hockey player, but it's like, fuck, sometimes I chose business over, just to get in that play. Like I just didn't want to get killed. Like it's just, that's part of the game. And he had no fear out there. Like he was never scared of anyone. And he was not even that big of a guy. He's not that big of a guy.
No, he's not. He's 5'9", and I mean, listen, he's jacked. He's cut up like he got in a fight with the scissors these days. But yeah, he's that's a great pick this week. Ozzo going to the Sioux game tonight again. Last night I was in Bemidji. I don't miss playing in that barn, fella. Fucking cold. They have that old seamless glass in there now. They don't have the stanchions. That glass has been outlawed in the NHL and in pro hockey for probably the last, I would say, almost 8 to 10 years. Yeah. And they still have that glass. When you get hit into it at the beaver trap, if your chin goes the wrong way or shoulder into that glass, you're going to separate something. You might have a concussion. And it's just so fast, too, because you can rim everything on that glass because it doesn't have the stanchions. So you know where it's going to go. It's going to get out of the zone every time. It comes in hot. Fuck, bud. I don't miss playing at that rink. That rink, I was watching there last night. There's no good seat in that whole rink to watch a game as a spectator either. Like, it's not really – it's built for hockey, but it's built for all sport and multi-purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't miss playing at the Beaver Trap. I'll tell you that right now.
I used to enjoy playing in there just because it'd be such a close game and, like, it'd usually be packed. Like, fans would be into it. But yeah, no, it's so hard to play in there. And like you said, you get hit on that glass. I mean, you're lucky to not be injured. But what did you think about their game, Jordo? I mean,
I thought they were flat for the first two periods. I thought they had a couple chances. Now there's a couple backdoor plays they missed. Jaden Perron made a few nice plays. That Wilkie had a couple decent looks. But if I'm going to be honest, so did Bemidji. I would say this: if the Sioux had 2 to 3 grade A's in the first two periods, Bemidji had 7 to 10. And the Sioux outshot them a little bit, I guess, on paper. They picked it up a little bit in the third when they went down 2-0, but it just felt like if North Dakota didn't score in that first half of the game, it was one of those games Bemidji was just going to win. And they got that goal late in the second period, and they got another. Yep. And it just felt like the Sioux were chasing it the whole time. Bemidji plays that trap in the neutral zone where if you don't dump or deposit a lot of pucks and be first on it, well, it's hard to get through that, that diamond with a lot of speed. You got to make 1 or 2 really good passes to get through it. Bemidji does a good job. They're well coached by Frank Serratori, a.k.a. Francis. So I just thought North Dakota was flat for the first 2 periods. They had a couple of decent chances, Ozzo, but to me, if I'm an outsider looking at that team and I'm Brad Berry and we're sitting here on Saturday, I'm saying we got to play way harder. We got to play way more desperate. We're 5-7 now. Like, man, it's getting to that time of the year, Ozzo, where we're almost at the halfway marker coming up on December. Fella, they're going to have to go like 17-5 to finish the year to make the tournament, or they're going to have to win the conference tournament. Right now, it's do or die, and it's only Thanksgiving. It's crazy to say that. We've been in that position before at UND when we went on a heater my sophomore year, your freshman year. But dude, it's now is the time because they have a lot of non-conference losses, and as you know, as those add up, it gets even harder to make the tournament.
Oh, it's going to be tough. They definitely need to go on a run in the second half. Now, it's definitely not over.
No.
I think they have the talent on the team that they need. Now, what I saw, Jordo, was I saw them. They were moving the puck well, I thought, in the D zone. They were breaking pucks out well. They were winning battles. They were getting to pucks. They were winning those battles. But then once they got the puck in the O zone, particularly, Jordo, they turned the puck over so easily in the O zone.
Yeah.
By just like stupid pass or like trying to dangle someone. It's like just cycle the puck and wear them down, get shots from the point, score a rebound goal. You don't have to score some like tic-tac-toe backdoor pass goal. Just fucking grind it out in the middle of the net, in the front of the net. I also thought, Jordo, I don't know if I'm wrong for thinking this, but did that look a little more skilled than a normal Bemidji UND matchup? Like, was Bemidji snapping the puck around like D to D instead of just going off the glass and out and chasing it? It looked like they were making a little more neutral zone plays and actually could handle the puck a little more than I usually remember the Beavers playing.
Yeah, they got more skill than when we played against them for sure. I think Bemidji's gotten better recruits as the years have gone on, but still a lot of rim pucks out of their own end. A lot of deposited pucks, or as we call it, just dumped in pucks. But they played their game, man. Like they hung on when they needed to. Their goalie made some key big saves early on, especially in the first and second period. Like I said, they had a couple grade A's UND, but more guys to the net, more traffic, Azo, and more cycle game. Too much one and done. Like I love this Perron kid's game, but to me, I know that first goal was a pizza by him, and just hanging on to pucks and kind of playing 2 east-west. Versus a team like Bemidji, like you got to play in straight lines. You got to play down the ice.
Yeah.
You got to get below the goal line. You got to let guys like my cousin, Jackson Coons, some of these guys go to work. Let the big boys get the puck to the skill guys, little plays, and then get to the net. Get to the 4x6. Get in front of that goalie's eyes. A lot of the D, too, making too many plays at the top of the key. It's like, fellas, like,
get it down there. Just get it down there. Start whack fucking it around the front of the net. Like
there's one McCarr, there's one Sanderson. And we weren't one of those guys either. It's just like you make one play on the blue line, fine, but you don't need to beat a guy 2 or 3 times. You don't need to walk it all the way Johnny Cash from boards to boards. It's like let's make some plays up top. Let's get a little bit of a hinge play at the top. Let's get some pucks to the net where we can go to work. So hopefully we can see more of that tonight, Azo. But the biggest thing for me would be, man, like more effort early. Like we need more urgency because again, we don't want the season to slip away from us, fellas. Here, like this is real wake up time, and I'm not counting these guys out yet. Listen, they got a good group. I think they got the talent to at least be a tournament team. And then we'll see what happens once you get in the dance. You just need a ticket, as we know, and then you see what happens in a 1-game shot. But yeah, man, last night I was like, fuck, like did we have too much turkey last night? Are we? I don't know. It just
I never like calling out the skilled players, Jordo, because obviously I wasn't a skilled player myself. But it's like, you know what? I know you guys aren't paid in college, but the reason you're on this team is because you score goals and you score big goals. And that's why you were recruited. And that's why Bubs brought you in for an official visit and kind of licked your toes, for a while to get you to come here because you were scoring these big goals in the USHL and in high school, wherever you were before this. And I think that's what this team is missing right now. They need those guys who were brought in to score goals. They need them to score goals. And right now, it just doesn't seem like it's finding the back of the net right now. And that's the difference. I mean, I look at some of our teams that we played on, like we just had our guys that we had on the team to score goals. They were scoring goals usually when we were playing well. And that's what you need. It's just, it doesn't seem like it's happening right now. I think they've went 180 minutes without scoring a 5-on-5 goal.
Yeah, and listen, they got some key guys out. We're not idiots, right? Louis Jammernick's out. He's a nice bottom 6 piece, good penalty killer, can play on the power play. Their captain, Gamberg, he's out. Smolik, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So they do have some guys missing, Azo, but you're North Dakota, baby. We can't be losing, at least we got to take one, especially at home. We can't be losing to these non-conference games, and this is no disrespect to Bemidji because they do play hard, and they beat Minnesota, and they beat Cloud. They beat a couple good teams this year. But listen, this is desperation time right now for UND. So hopefully they can get it done tonight. Azo, speaking of getting it done, fella, I am going to go meet Uncle Rico after his matinee on the east side. We're going to go to Judy's or the Bun. See, listen, My sister's with me. My mom's with me. They've never been to Judy's. My only thing with Judy's, and I love the bar, but I need to start with hard piss.
Yeah.
And Judy's don't have it, man. Do they have high noon there now? Because back in the day, it was just Mike's Hard.
No, they fuck that high noon shit at Judy's. They don't have that. They got Coors or Busch Light. Right. It's gonna come in a jug about this big, Jordan, half a gallon. And that's all you're getting.
But they do have the fridge off to the side that has the bottled Busch Light, and I think they have maybe a White Claw, but White Claw is so bad.
Like, White Claw is terrible. You can't do it.
And what do they put in that beer? You. What do they put in that beer? Is it vodka or is it shrooms? Like, what is it?
It's got to be something because, it's a little different than the other beer around town. I feel like you just get lost in there.
Well, everyone always says I had 3 beers. Now they're probably lying. They probably had 6 32-ounce beers, but everyone's like, oh, I don't remember getting home. Well, what were you drinking? Well, I was just drinking beer. Does that normally happen to you? No, I never black out. Well, where were you last night? Well, I was at Judy's. Did you have the big beers? Oh, yeah. So it always happens to everyone. It's like, it's a Judy's thing. I don't know what they put in those fucking kegs. I don't know what they're spiking them with, but every time I go in there, if I'm drinking that diesel fuel, man, it doesn't get perfect. I mean, fuck, you ended up, well, I mean, we're not going to say his name, but a guy we know ended up upside down chugging a keg on a snow day about 2 years ago at Judy's, and he's on the other side of 30.
Oh yeah. That's just what happens. But you're right. It is I think it's a great second spot for me. I need to get that hard stuff out of the way just to get a little, grease the wheels a little bit. Yeah, establish the base, and then you can start pounding the beers. But yeah, oh man, that place. I'm so jealous.
Are you getting after tonight, or you off it?
Yeah, no, I'll probably have some cocktails tonight and see where the night brings me. But there's a lot of people that are busy. A lot of the people that I would want to have a beer with are in Grand Forks right now. So it's tough being down in the cities, not in Forks for this weekend. But
I know.
You know what? Fuck.
We're going to Harry's after too. Can't wait.
Getting that back room.
I think Rico might have the back room actually reserved with the Useldinger crew. So the Schmaltz crew got punted, but I'm sure we'll reconvene back there. Who knows? Who knows what's going to go on, especially when we get that back room.
You never know. You never know what's going to go on.
You never know. Back room. Just have your chin tucked to ready to throw both ways because you have no idea. So
yeah.
All right, Ozzo, I'm going to go over the bar right now. Folks, that was episode number 66. That is always brought to you by Butter Golf and Mini Movers. Butter Golf, the official lifestyle and apparel brand. We do have new stuff on our website. We just ran our Black Friday sale, so thank you all for buying a lot of shit. We sold a ton of stuff, and we just wanted to get back to the people that way. Mini Movers is the official moving company of Live in 5. Ozzo, we'll be back next week with a guest. We just wanted to give the people a little Turkey Day special over here. So this will drop tomorrow on Sunday while everyone's going home, hung and sweating it out. So, folks, tape to tape with the captain, always reporting live from Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Ozzo in the cities, baby. Until next time, low and slow. Woo!